Hey guys, hope you guys are having an amazing day so far. Your boy is back with another episode of r slash or Am I the A-hole? If you guys are new to this subreddit, this one is full of people posting various scenarios that they are in, looking for the judgment on who the a-hole is in that scenario, whether it's them, the other people, or everyone involved. And with this episode specifically, we're going to be diving into the newest posts, the lesser known ones, because I feel like those are the ones where it's harder to tell who the a-hole is right away. And you guys actually recommended that in the comments. So we're gonna be doing that today. I'm excited about it. And for those of you that don't know, we also have a Patreon set up if you wanna support the channel, especially during this time of my demonetization, but only if you can, of course. It's gonna be the first link in the description box down below. All Patreon members will also get daily exclusive extended content regarding the video of the day. So today's gonna be an extra 10 to 20 minute video on Am I the A-hole? Also, if you're new to my channel and you enjoy videos like this, we do it every single day on this channel. So make sure you guys stay tuned by hitting the subscribe and the notification bell. And if you do enjoy, it would mean the world to me if you hit the like and comment section down below, as I love engaging with your guys' comments and it helps out the algorithm a lot. All right, with that being said, let's get into today's video. Damn, my hair is a mess. All right, Am I the A-hole? So we're gonna go into new today. All right, let's see what piques my interest. What? Hold up, this one sounds interesting. All right, so this one's titled AITA, or Am I the A-hole, for ignoring my mom's calls for a few days for yelling at me for getting too dark from the sun. She's 23, female. Before we get into this, this is something I've encountered before with my niece. She was younger though. She was like 5 or 6, and her dad yelled at her for getting too tan, which is like the goofiest thing ever. But for those of you that don't know, in Asian culture, with women mostly, I've noticed if you're lighter or paler skin, it's viewed as better, which is stupid. I literally told my niece, dude, you look dope tan, dude. Do whatever the F you want. Also, being in the sun is like the best. You would want your kids to be out there. But I'm not talking down on her dad. I love her dad. He's cool. He's still in our lives and everything like that. Good vibes. But yeah, all right, let's get into this. So the story goes, I'm from India and this should tell you enough about the situation I'm in. In India, the general consensus is that the darker you are, the uglier you are. Exactly. Another Asian country that gets it. And it's so silly to me because like there are some beautiful tan women, and it's so funny because in America, everybody wants to be tan. So it's like vice versa, but you know, grass is always greener. All right. It's very outdated. I know. My family moved to the US when I was 4. I now live on my own, and while getting financially supported by my family, while still getting financially supported by my family. I graduated this August, congratulations, and I'm currently actively applying to jobs to be able to support myself. We are visiting India in June for a cousin's wedding. She's been more adamant about me wearing sunscreen to not get darker, so I can be presentable for the trip. Mind you, my dad is pretty dark, and my mom isn't that white either. Also, I mean, wearing sunscreen is important. I want to establish that. You should wear sunscreen, everyone, because just like skin cancer and shit. But like for the color, maybe. I guess like it depends on your own view on yourself. If you like getting tanner, do whatever the freak you want. Like I like a certain amount of tan for me personally. Like if I get too dark, I don't like it too much. So I kind of get it, but that's personal preference. You shouldn't listen to other people's opinions. All right, so the next one says, I also do not care at all about this color of my skin. Exactly. So if you don't, do it as you please. I don't think anyone should care. I wear sunscreen when I go out for the sole reason of taking care of my skin and not to control how much I tan. Very smart. I am also not panicking 24/7 about making sure to reply every 2 hours. Yeah, the people that do, I mean, to each their own. Awesome. Maybe you had like skin cancer in the past or something, so that's viable. But if you're just like so on it, it's like, damn, like I can't imagine that amount of stress and anxiety. All right, let's continue. Sorry, I keep interrupting. I try my best, but sometimes I forget. So obviously I'll tan a little. I also have my own insecurities, and it's frustrating to have my mom project these insecurities onto me. My parents are very supportive financially, but emotionally they are horrendous. I really don't know what to do. Girl, I get you. being in an Asian household, you don't get a lot of emotional support. I do now as an like 27-year-old, but up till like I was 23, man, my parents were not that supportive emotionally, but very supportive financially. This all started because I sent a picture of me at a tour of a company I wanted to work for, or I want to work at. And I looked really tan, but there was also shadows involved. She immediately started yelling at me and saying I'm trying to get darker on purpose despite her. Brother, what? Because she knows I don't like when she's picky about my skin color. I didn't say anything. Well, the fact that she's thinking that it's all about her is already telling as to the kind of parent she is. But I didn't say anything and just hung up once she started raising her voice. I've come to accept that older generations just have a hard time changing their opinions and also ignore a lot of unhinged things they do, since I know they still love me and make sure I'm housed and fed and sends me money if I really need it. Yeah, so it sounds like your parents are good parents. It's just they're stuck in their old ways, which I like. It happens. Literally every time I see my parents, every single time, maybe 7 out of 8 of the times I see them, they're always like, you need to stop getting tattoos, buddy. And I'm like, just wait till you see my knees, because I just got a fat one there. All right, continuing. Indian people are very much about what will other people think. Yeah, and that's a lot of Asian cultures in general. And being presentable, even if it means being rude to the family members for it. I've just come to accept this is just the outdated, insane way of some folks in India. Trust me, I've spoken to her on countless of times, and now I'm just tired. Edit. Oh, and she also claims she wants to put on sunscreen for my skin health, but not because I'm getting darker. I just have a hard time believing this. Please ignore any grammar, spelling mistakes. I was rush typing this and didn't really double check with autocorrect. Thanks. Actually, that was like not that bad grammar. That's a random side note, but based on like the r/nice guys that we've been reading lately, that's really good grammar. All right, let's read comment. Oh, well, I mean, I'm going to give you my judgment before we read the comments, actually. Not the a-hole. Your mom's kind of an a-hole. Mostly an a-hole. I think the only reason I don't say like, oh, she's a full-on like a-hole like some of the other scenarios is like I get it. Like I grow up in this household too, and like your parents are always going to be stuck in their ways, and like my parents are always telling me, oh, they have told me don't get too dark. They also told me like tattoos are ugly, like don't get too many tattoos, a lot of that stuff. Dude, I have a fucking neck tattoo, like what are they gonna? But I have came to realize that there's my parents, at least, and really good parents, which I'm assuming her parents will still accept you at the end of it, because they realize that you're a grown-ass person and they really can't control you anymore. Like, it's just the way that the world works. And so, like, mostly your mom's an asshole, but not 100%, because, like, I get it. She's trying to be a good mom, and in her eyes, she's thinking about it like, oh my God, I want my daughter to be the most presentable, beautiful woman. Now, is that the correct thing? No, it's outdated. It's 100%. But I guess growing up from my upbringing, I get where they're trying to come from, but it's just outdated. So just like the OP said, yeah, your mom's pretty much the a-hole, and you're not. Yeah, not the a-hole. You don't have to uphold insecurities or social obligations regarding to the care of your own body. Yeah, I fully agree with this, man. Like, if you're a fully functioning normal adult, you have the right to do whatever you want with your own body. And I've always been a fan of that. Like, as long as you're educated on decisions and it doesn't impact other people, brother, do whatever you want. Do whatever drugs with the safety of, others, and freaking pro-choice, like all of it, choice, everything. It's your body. Do whatever. I should not have a say on what you should do with your body, and the world should not. As long as it's not impacting others. What else does this person say? Imagine if it was some other characteristic like weight or something. Would you keep allowing anyone, even family, to make you feel poorly about the way that you care for your own body? I'm going to say that with weight, it depends. Because it depends on how they're approaching it. Because if your parents are looking at your weight and they're not discriminating on the fact of, or like they're not hating on the fact that you're just looking bigger, but actual genuine health concerns, then like that's kind of understandable. Like my family, at least we all try to keep each other at least a little bit in check, because, you know, like my mom is like pre-diabetic, so I gotta be like, yo, like calm down on certain foods and stuff like that. But that's more like health reasons. It has nothing to do with like how big they are or how small they are. All right, let's move on to the next one. That was a good one. I enjoyed that, reading that one, because I related to that one a lot. What? Wow, this was posted an hour ago and has a shit ton of likes. All right. Am I the a-hole for feeding my daughter's softball league junk at our sleepover? Interesting. Let's see. I, 35, female, have 3 children, all enrolled in extracurriculars. My oldest daughter, who's 13, plays in softball and has for years. I live in a small town, so I know the other girls' parents, and we are well acquainted. I even consider them, a few of them, my friends. We take turns having big, huge sleepovers for the girls at our homes, and this weekend, it was my daughter's weekend. Wow, that sounds so fun. Like, I wish I had that growing up, like big sleepovers. That sounds awesome, dude. I still have sleepovers now, but it'd be just like with one of my homies from like another town that hasn't been around in a while. All right, next part. We had never discussed what we should and should not feed the girls, just allergies and such, so that I didn't think that there were actual rules to this. My other child is also in sports, and I've never had a complaint about this either. And I've hosted these sleepovers before, just not this season yet. And there are a few mothers, newer parents to the team. Anyways, I bought the girls pizza and breadsticks and had pink or regular lemonade offered for dinner. That sounds so fucking awesome. I also had a lot of snacks, mostly chips, but I did bake some brownies as well. Dude, this sounds sick. You're 13 years old. Like, dude, when I was 13, that sounds awesome. Granted, I did eat like crap when I was 13 too, a little bit. So, I mean, it is what it is. You're 13. The next morning, I had just a lot of Dunkin' Donuts. Damn, they are eating good as... That's a lot of junk. But, I mean, they are 13. It's 15 girls I'm feeding. So, that's expensive. So I figured it was easiest because these type of things feed a lot of children. My children don't normally eat like this either. I was just excited for the first sleepover at our house this season. Well, yeah, like totally. Anyways, I've gotten some complaints from the newer moms to have joined our group chat and have said that I shouldn't be loading their children up with sugar and junk food, and how the kids don't eat like that at home. I replied back that it was a sleepover and it was supposed to be a fun event for the girls, so what was the big deal? That offended them. They accused me, this is an interesting one because I don't know how I feel about it yet. They accused me of undermining their parenting and said their daughters wouldn't be coming to my daughter's sleepovers anymore unless I decided to feed them better food. This caused an argument because, like I said, nothing was ever mentioned about what we feed the children at these sleepovers. And there were never any rules. I thought it was fair game. I then again said it was just fun food. It was a slumber party, and a few of the other parents agreed with me. A few hours later, the mother replied in the group chat that her daughter would no longer be coming to any of the events at my home since I couldn't see that fun food was just a different word for junk. Then called me a lousy mother for feeding children up with that shit, then left the group chat. Am I the a-hole? Okay, this is tough. First off, I want to establish OP is not the a-hole. I'm going to go ahead and say that. I don't think the other mothers are assholes either, except when they called you a lousy mother for this and like started attacking your parenting skills. I think that's uncalled for. They have no right to be saying that because they have to look, they lack the empathy to look at it from your perspective. You're hosting your first sleepover of the season. You want everybody to have fun. And as a 13-year-old, bro, Dunkin' Donuts, brownies, like that's awesome. Now, is it healthy? Hell to the F no. Should there have been healthier food options there too? Yes, 100%. But like their kids. I don't know. This is tough. You definitely want to instill some form of like, by the way, kids, you can't be eating this every day type beat. But at the same time, they are kids. So it's like their metabolisms are great. And this would be the time to eat some junk with moderation. Don't go balls to the wall, because then that's how you create really bad habits for them growing up. Like they can't be eating this shit every day. 100% not. If it's established like a special occasion, I don't know. But from the OP's perspective, like I get it. You're just trying to make sure everybody is having fun. And that is pretty fun. Not gonna lie. Even as a grown ass adult, if my friends right now who are like 30 told me, dude, I just got pizza, brownies, and Dunkin' Donuts. Sleep over at my house. I would be checking my schedule, making sure if I was free, and then be like, I'm over there. But am I going to feel like crap for the next week? 100%. And am I going to have to eat chicken and fucking like chicken breasts and my usual stuff after? Yes. But it's a sleepover. It's a special occasion. Yeah, you're not the a-hole. It's pretty easy. Whoever called you a lousy mother is an a-hole for sure, because they're not understanding the perspective. But I also want to establish that they have the right to pull their kid from the sleepover if they want to. But I feel like there should be more discussion on this. Like, oh, well, then like let's establish rules from now on. Like, hey, we can have some junk, but also have some other options. Like they gotta, I don't know. I feel like this just wasn't talked about enough. The lack of communication is crazy. All right, let's read the comments. Has she hosted yet? What do the other moms that have been around the block serve when it's their turn? Who have been around the block? It's hilarious to talk about moms. Info, what has the food been at other sleepovers? I'm sure your daughter could tell you. Yeah, that's good too to know. Not the a-hole. Sleepovers are meant for junk food. It's a treat and not something that happens every night. I do think that after a night of junk food, a good balanced breakfast is needed. Scrambled eggs are super easy to whip up. Yeah, I think that's smart. Like having some balance after, especially. And eggs are, well, I was going to say they're easy to whip up, but right now they're expensive. So, but true. Pre-cut fruit tray, yogurt along with the donuts. But that's just me and what I would serve. I probably wouldn't have gotten donuts. I feel like that's overkill, but I get it. It's fast. I wouldn't care if my daughter went to a sleepover and only ate junk once in a while. I also agree. Even with my niece, like I don't see her super, super often anymore. I used to live with her though. And I would emphasize to her like, dude, this is the time you can be eating this stuff, but just don't eat too much of it and not every day. And she's smart enough to understand. I mean, kids are so smart these days, guys. You got to stop treating them like freaking like brainless things. They're literally us, just younger and with no filter. All right. My hair is getting long, guys. I need to cut it. I think I'm going to get a haircut this week. Sorry, I keep messing with it. That's how you guys know, like, I need a haircut when I keep messing with it in these videos, which is most videos. Okay, this one's interesting. Title says, am I the a-hole for not giving my ex-husband enough time to buy our marital home? Okay. In short, first, English is not my first language, so bear with me. So me, 31 female, and my ex, 30 male, were a married couple for years, and we divorced in 2021. Divorce was messy, and I shall tell you more about it later, but we got our assets divided, except for our shared home, and a car. That sounds so complicated. That's like, I mean, I'm not going to say it's a nightmare, but that sounds tough, man. Like my sister was in a divorce and like, I know how it was like, damn, yeah, having to deal with like all that, especially if kids are involved too. All right. My ex, whom I shall refer as John. Would it be funny if his name was actually John? Who else shall refer as John Doe? And then their name is actually John Doe. My last name is Doe, funny enough. Wanted to buy our shared home and car to himself. And I was like, fine with that. Wait, so he wanted to buy it off. Okay, I see. And I was fine with it. I just wanted to get rid of everything that was our shared property. I moved into a rental home and began to wait. First, he said that it would be a couple months and then half a year and then a year and so on. He told me that he was saving money. His situation was really hard, etc. And I gave him time. John needed to save approximately 4,000 to 6,000. I think that's euros. Could be wrong. Is that euros? I should know this. I've been to Europe. Yeah, that's euros. Hey, look at me. Cultured. To get the loan. 4,000 to 6,000 euros. I mean, that's a lot, but that's in a year given time. You should be able to do that unless you're really bad with money. A year? Actually, you should be able to do more than that. Four to $6,000 in euros because they're about the same. I mean, unless you got to be really struggling. Just fucking ramen it out, bro. I don't know. I can't be saying that because I know there's some people that are really, really, really struggling. But like, I feel like for a year, I don't know, bro. That should be possible. Anyways, and I believe that he could have saved that pretty quickly. Pretty quickly might be a tougher one, but you did give him a year. But then started the waterworks. Oh, he got laid off. He was burnt out and so on. Well, getting laid off does hinder that a lot. So that does make it a lot tougher. Although through all of this, he had money to visit abroad and buy almost a brand new motorbike. Okay, I don't empathize for him anymore. Up to this point, I was like, I can kind of get it because 6,000, if you're struggling, is hard to save, 100%. And then he got laid off and stuff. But he bought a new motorbike and went abroad. Nope. All my empathy is gone now. Amidst all this, he wanted me to pay for the house renovations. Get the fuck out of here. Upgrades he got for the house, and he tried to get me to pay for some electric renovations. I decided of any payments, or I declined any payments. All right, I declined any of payments because I didn't benefit for the renovations. He said the house would still be sold to him at the same price. And you should not be paying for that. I didn't even get the rent from him staying there. I also didn't pay the mortgage because he was living in the house rent-free. Now, 4 years. 4 years! Oh, yeah, 100% legal action needs to be done at this point. So 4 years have passed and still nothing. Same songs. He lost all the money and said that the new American president's fault. It was the new American president's fault. What? Yeah, but that doesn't impact the last 3 years when he wasn't and didn't have anything. He needed more time. I get why you left him now. I said I've had enough, and I threatened legal action and found myself a lawyer. He tried to settle things, but no answer. Now John was mad that I had made him ask for a bank loan or possibly take him from his house. Because the settlement didn't work, we were going to court with this. And with that, either he buys the house and the car or he moves out and sells it all. Yeah. I mean, that's what it should happen. Because what the fuck? Like, dude's actually been leeching off of you. So am I the a-hole for waiting 4 years and not giving him enough time to save approximately 5,000 euros? No. Dude, 4 years to save 5,000 is crazy. I'm going to say most people, unless you're in a really shitty situation, should be able to do that. That's ridiculous. You're not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. You waited too long. You've been too nice. This should have been settled before the divorce was finalized, but state you have not been paying the mortgage. I sure hope he has, because if your name is on the mortgage, this would affect your credit as well. Wow, yeah, true. Like, I understand OP was being too nice, and like I've been there, done that for somebody who I thought was relatively close to me, but then found out they didn't view me the same way, and I should not have been too nice to them, because then the thing is, like, when you're nice to people, even if they're your friends, and then you give them too much leeway, you're allowing yourself, if the friend is a bad person, sometimes they're not, but you're allowing yourself the opportunity to get stepped on. And it's happened to me. I let somebody who lived with me, who I thought was a good or pretty decent friend, not pay rent for like a couple months, and because they told me that they were gonna pay me later on, and later on just kept going month by month by month, and it was just getting worse and worse. And then like 5-6 months passed, and then I was like, hey, like, you have to do this or you have to get out of here, and you're gonna have to pay some. And I even forgave that person a little bit of it if they just paid all of it within like a month or two, because like I would have to bring it to court, and like I don't want to, because it's complicated, you know. But it is what it is. That's what happens, man. Always with money, you got to pick and choose who you're dealing with. My door just creaked. really randomly, and that was kind of scary. It's funny because the next video we're doing for tomorrow is Let's Not Meet, which is a scary episode, so I'm already like prepping myself for like the scares. Let's read one more good one. This sounds interesting. Am I the a-hole for complimenting a guy with a wife? I, 16, a female, have been extremely bad or have had extremely bad social anxiety my entire life. So bad that until the end of middle school, I was basically mute in public. The therapist I'm working with about this suggested that I try complimenting someone. Yeah, that is a good start. After this, when I was at the store, I saw somebody with the XO hoodie, weekend hoodie, and I was genuinely curious where he got it from. So for context, this is a grown man with a wife and a toddler. I didn't think this would be wrong since I'm very clearly a teenager. I walked up to him and said, "Oh, where'd you get that hoodie from? I love the weekend." And the guy replies in the rudest tone he possibly can, "Online." And then his wife looked at me up and down and said that compliment wasn't necessary. Wait, what compliment? You didn't even compliment him. You complimented the weekend. You said, "Where did you get that hoodie from? I love the weekend." You didn't even say that was a cool hoodie or not. You could have been like, "No, I was just curious because I love the weekend and that's an ugly ass fucking hoodie, bro." Wow, they sound like assholes. They are the assholes. And that was the end of the interaction. Damn, that's going to scare that person from interacting even more in the future. It probably doesn't seem like a big deal to most, but this was a huge step for me. Some people I told about this were siding with me, but others think that I'm in the wrong since I had a crop top on with baggy jeans, nothing extremely revealing, while complimenting a guy with a girlfriend. Edit. I look my age, if not younger. This man looked in his 30s or 40s. People assuming that I, as a barely 16-year-old, had other interactions is a little crazy to me. I would never say anything if it was a couple around my age, and I genuinely... Well, here's the thing. If you're in public complimenting someone and their wife is right there, as long as you're not like being sexual about it, I'm pretty sure it's obvious that you're just actually complimenting them. And also, like, the compliment that you gave was so like basic. It wasn't like, damn, you should take that hoodie off because it looks so good, or like you look so good, or some shit. I don't know, like what? You're just like, "Oh, I love the weekend. Where'd you get that hoodie from?" That's a normal compliment. They're just crazy. All right, not the a-hole. That's a bizarre interaction to receive a benign compliment, and I hope you realize that their interactions had nothing to do with you. Most sane adults would be happy a teenager thought their clothes was cool. Yeah, bro, if a 16-year-old thought I was wearing something cool, I'd be like, "Bro, I'm fucking in, dude. I still got it." Especially like, dude, 16 is like 11 years younger than me. That's a whole generation or two. I think it's one generation gap. So like, that's fire. You know, like I feel like teenage. Yeah. This has happened to me. There was like a 13-year-old boy who like got out the school bus and was like, "Yo, sick car." And I was like, "Me? My boy, let's go." All right, I think I'm about to end it here because I got to film the Patreon and I also want to film one more video, but we will dive into, if you are a Patreon member, I'm going to dive into some of these right here because these sounds interesting. What? Am I the a-hole for telling my relatives to stop talking about my deceased parents? Ooh, I'm diving into that. But yeah, so if you guys are a Patreon member, I'll see you guys there. If not, it's completely fine. Trust me, like, only if you can and if you want to support. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful Sunday or whatever day that you're watching this. And tomorrow is going to be Let's Not Meet. And I'm going to be cooking up, just for those of you that know, I am cooking up other content outside Reddit. I have these video documentary ideas or like video essay ideas. But I am waiting to see what happens with this appeal. If it doesn't go through fruition, I'm going to wait until I get remonetized. And then by that time, hopefully I'll have a setup for streaming too. We're going to start streaming on both Twitch and YouTube. I'm going to multi-stream. And that way you guys can watch me on here or people on Twitch can find me as well. I doubt I'll do that good on Twitch, but who knows? We'll do some live Reddit reads and then some other things in the future. I also want to see what I'm going to do with the Patreon because right now it's just extended content. I might switch that up in the future. I don't know to what yet. Once I start streaming though. So not anytime soon. But yeah, anyways, I'll see you guys later. Bye.